Hi everyone, it's me again, Paige. Glad you could join me for another video tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a technique card, which is Poppin Pastels. And I don't know if you can really tell this, but this has been done with our pastels. Some other people, or sometimes people know them as chalks. But we're going to show you this technique and how to make this card. Okay, let's get started. First of all, let me show you our pastels. This is how they come. When you get them, this is how they look. You'll notice mine are missing some. This is how the new kit comes. If you have been a stamper in the past and already have the chalks, you can buy this kit right here with your blank ones, and you can take your old Stampin' Pastels from the previous color and add them to this. This is all of our brand new colors for this catalog, and all the names are written up here, so you can easily match what color goes with what. But this is how they come. So we'll set that aside. The first thing you're going to do for Poppin Pastels is you're going to stamp your image in Versamark. And Versamark is a clear pigment ink, so it's absolutely clear. There's no color to it, but when you stamp it on a piece of paper, it does what they call a watermark, and it will give it just a shade different. So Versamark is a great pad to use for a lot of different things. Alright, on our card, these are our measurements. The early espresso cardstock is 5.5 by 8.5. Our wild wasabi is 2 1/4 by 4.5. The next color is the Marina Mist, and it is 2.5 by 4 3/4. Our white piece, which is the one we're going to be stamping on, is 2 3/4 by 5. And then this is going to be just a little scalloped edge right here, and it is 5 inches, of course, to match the green, and then just whatever width you like to be able to punch with. So that's the width of this is not really important, but the length needs to match up with the green. Okay, first thing we're going to do is stamp our image with a Versamark. And usually on a larger stamp, I like to ink up the stamp this way. It just helps me make sure and get it all inked up well. And then we're going to put this down, and we're going to stamp it right here. And just give that a really good push. Lift it up. And I'm not sure that you can even see this. I'll try to move it around so hopefully the camera can catch it. But there is a watermark on there of the image. Okay? And what we're going to do next is we're going to take, these are our sponge daubers, and they come in a pack. There's several in there. I can't remember. I think there's a dozen. But they're great to fit on your finger, and they're great to use with the pastels. First thing we're going to do, bring these over here. Okay, this is a little tricky. You want to ink up your sponge, and you've got to make sure, can you see that? Magic! You want to make sure you can kind of get it in the light so you can make sure you're seeing what you're stamping. You do not want to rub these, you want to pounce. And this is called Poppin Pastels. And when you hit that chalk on that ink, they just pop out. That's how it gets its name. So I'm trying to get pretty much just the little stems, and there's going to be a few stems I don't even get, but it's okay. This is just a great little technique to add really soft color. The next color I'm going to go in here to is my Marina Mist. I'm going to chalk that up, and I'm going to hit my flowers. Isn't that cool? It just pops out at you. I love this technique. It's kind of one of those magic techniques, I think. When you're doing it, it's just like, wow, how cool is that? Okay, we're going to do that. I'm going to add a little more green down here. Get that a little bit darker. One thing about your chalks, too, you'll want to remember, it is okay if they crack. Don't freak out, okay? It's okay. Alright, you can also do this. I want to put this in the early espresso so you can change colors and they don't really matter. And some people say, why are you adding brown? Because brown is in my card and I want a brown flower. That's the great thing about doing your own cards. You can make them whatever you want. Okay, we're going to take that out of our way. The next thing I'm going to use, and it has escaped me. There it is. I use just, what's the little Swiffer? That's it. It's a Swiffer thing. Or you could use like a static cling dryer sheet or something. And this just helps wipe off the excess chalks. And there you have a gorgeous image. Isn't that great? Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to bring our other pieces in here and layer those on. You want to be careful with this. You don't want to be smearing it. You can smear the chalks. So I'm always really careful, and when I want to attach those really good, I just turn it over, and that way I'm not rubbing against the chalks and smearing them. And you will notice they look a little smudged, but that's the whole look of the chalks. They're just a really soft look. Now I'm going to punch my scallop border. There we go. Alright, and this just gives it just a little bit of extra color on there. Okay, get my base card and we'll fold it in half. This is the Early Espresso. This is the new color that's in the catalog. Love it. Chocolate chip used to be my favorite, but I think Early Espresso is going to take over. Alright, we're going to layer this on here. Again, I'm turning this over to push down my tape because I don't want to smear the chalks anymore. So that's the only reason I'm doing that. Alright, the stamp set that we're using, I forgot to tell you, is Just Believe. It's a great stamp set. It's got a lot of silhouette type stamps in it. There's a couple punches that will work with these. And I'm going to use the words on there. And we're going to stamp it in the Early Espresso. And then we're going to layer it with a couple punches. So we're just going to stamp this here. We're going to take our 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And remember, anytime you're going to stamp and punch something out, always stamp first, then punch. That way you get a great centered stamp. And our next thing we're going to do is use the new 2 3/8 scallop punch. And we'll just take a scrap piece of the Marina Mist, and we're going to attach these with some snail. Then I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on here. I like the dimensionals. They add a little height to your image, and they're not just flat on the paper. So we'll take these off. And these little things can be a pain sometimes, but those do good for me. Yay! Okay, we're just going to stick this on here. And one little last touch. If you haven't ever used our gel pens from Stampin' Up, the white one is awesome. Actually, that's the only one we sell. But anyway, they are the best writing gel pens I've ever bought. I believe they're just $3.95. I have a whole drawer of gel pens that I use like twice, and then they just dry up and then never use again. So this works great. So there you go, and our card is finished. Very quick and easy card. Great technique, the Poppin Pastels. One last little item. The way I got my color combinations today, I went to our Color Coach. Awesome tool. I opened up to the Wild Wasabi. I knew I wanted to use that. I flipped it over, and here were my colors. It was actually, this is in the sweet set. It was the Wild Wasabi, Marina Mist, and the Early Espresso. So, great tool to get our color combinations that I probably would not even have put together myself. Have a great day. Bye.